Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make yourself look like this. All you're going to need are some contact lenses, a little flower crown and some black and white face paints. The first thing that I'm going to do is to insert some contact lenses. These ones are called dark side. Now we're going to start painting the outline of our skull. I'm using a number 2 Louis Cornell brush with Snazaroo white. First off, we're going to be creating large asymmetrical eye sockets. Feel free to play around with different shapes and sizes during this stage, as any unwanted lines can be removed with a baby wipe. An easy way to get interesting shapes is to wiggle your brush from side to side a little, as you can see me doing here on the nose. Next we're creating the shape of the fractured cheekbones, the mouth, as well as the jaw area. If you struggle with your line placement, it can be a really good help to Google reference images, but remember that what we're creating is quite stylized anyway. Continue with your outlining until you get a shape with proportions that you like. And here we have my finished outline. Next, we're going to be applying Supracolor Clown White to our face and neck. The reason that we're using Supracolor and not the same white we use for the outline is because Supracolor is oil-based while Snazaroo is water-based. This means that as long as it is set with a translucent powder, it won't move or crack, even in high-stress areas like the eyes and the mouth. Either use a brush or a sponge depending on the size of the area you're trying to cover. Clean up any mistakes with a baby wipe. And be sure to powder down all painted areas thoroughly. I'm using Ben 9 Neutral Set. Now we're going to use Wolf White to go in and create the teeth, as well as fractures around the forehead area and the nose. All I'm doing here is creating small upside down U's for the top teeth and pressing down to create teardrop shapes for the bottom teeth. We can also use this to trace over our original outline, as it's a lot more opaque than Snazaroo. Next we'll use a Starblend, which is essentially just a powder face paint to create a base that we'll blend on top of. You can apply this with a brush or a sponge. Just make sure that whichever you decide to apply with is completely dry, otherwise you risk the colour going on quite patchy. If you don't have a Starblend, you can easily skip this step. I just find that it means any paint put on top of it will blend a lot easier and a lot more uniformly too. We're going to start applying Wolf Black and feathering it lightly down into our Starblend base. I'm using a 1/2 inch Louis Cornell rake brush. So pretty much all of our blending from here on in is going to follow the same pattern. First we apply Wolf Black to all of the areas where light would naturally hit our design. Then we're going to load up our brush with Tag and Soft Grey and use it to blend up into the black. As you can see here, I'm putting some of the soft grey in the teeth as well. I'm then adding some Wolf White and blending that up into the grey. Next we're going to work on the mouth area, creating V shapes in between each tooth and blending white into the space in between. We're also going to start building up a lot more line work around our cheek area. A pretty good general rule to follow is to always blend your lights into your darks and not the other way around. This prevents your colours from getting too dark too quickly. The final step for the face is to touch up any areas you may have blended over using Wolf White and a small detail brush. I'm adding some small fracture lines to the cheek just for a bit of extra interest. We're going to create the neck area in exactly the same way as we did the face. One thing I found really helpful was to just take a photo of myself every now and again and then to invert it in Photoshop. This can help you see what's working and what's not. And our final step is just to create sort of a collar shape using a 1-inch brush loaded up with some Wolf Black. All you need to do now is add a little flower crown as well as a few gems and you're done. Cool, so that's the end of my first ever tutorial. I hope this was helpful to some of you guys. If you do decide to wear this, I would love to see some photos. Otherwise, please subscribe for more. See ya!